Okay, I think we're good. Hey, it's Shel Anderson from Shel's Creative Corner and Shel Anderson Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com and I can be reached anytime by email at andersonshel@gmail.com. I want to thank you for joining me tonight for another edition of Stamp with Shel Facebook Live. We're going to make a couple of cards tonight, but before we get started, I have a little bit of business to get out of the way. First up is the December class calendar. I just completed this today. I will have this up on my blog tomorrow, or if you want me to email you a copy, just contact me after the broadcast. We have lots and lots of classes to choose from for December, and they are all available at any time. I don't have a specific day for any classes in December. Look what came in today. I am so excited. I have new cutting blades. No more fuzzy edges. Hello, Pam. Hi, Denise. Hi, Carol. Glad you could join me. Next up is my tip. Every time I do a video, I try to give you a tip. So tonight, we are going to talk about 3 ways to use shimmer paint. Now, shimmer paint, we have 2 colors right now, Champagne Mist and Frost White. I have the Champagne Mist here, and it has some champagne-y, goldy tones to it. It's on page 146 of the annual catalog. And if you live in Canada, it's $11. And this little tiny bottle goes a long way. I've had this bottle for over 2 years and it's not even half empty. There's a little ball in here, if you can hear that. Sorry, my comments just got covered up. There's a little ball in here so that it will shake it up really, really well. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about ways you can use this. You can use a paintbrush for small areas where you need more control, like if you're putting snow on trees, you can just dip your brush in and you can paint on the trees. And that's number 1. If you've used your curvy dies, let's say, or if you used another die and you're making a snowbank, you can take your sponge dauber, not this one because this is crumb cake, but a clean sponge dauber, and you can use this to apply the shimmer paint onto a large piece. Or you could also use it, like if you had a snowflake, a larger snowflake, and you wanted to put some of the shimmer paint on, this would be the way to do it. And the third way that you can do it is by making shimmer spray. And I just use one of these Stampin' spritzers and I fill it up to about here, about the E on this sticker. And I fill it up with 70% alcohol. The higher the percentage of alcohol, the better. And then I add about 10 drops of the shimmer paint. It just depends. I kind of get a feel for it. 7 to 10 drops. And if you see here, it settles on the bottom. So when you use it, you always have to shake it. And when you spray this, you hold your paper, probably a good 10 inches away. And you spritz it, and it just adds, when it dries, the alcohol dissipates, and it just adds a very glimmery, wintry, beautiful sheen to it. So that's 3 ways that you can use the shimmer paint. That's my tip for you tonight. Okay, new catalogs. I have placed my demonstrator order. And of course, I have ordered new catalogs. The J to J, or January to June mini, as well as the celebration brochures. They're ordered, they're on their way. So as soon as I get them, you know you'll have them. That will give you something to ooh and ah and drool over the Christmas holidays. Okay, the last date to order and receive products prior to Christmas is December the 9th. My next order goes in December the 9th at 8 a.m. So if you would like to have anything in your home before Christmas, that's the last date to order. This coming Saturday, Stamp with Shel Facebook Live. We're going to do something different. I am putting a theme on this one, and it's called What Inspires Me This Week. So if you want to come out on Saturday at 10:30 Central Standard Time, we will be making a 3D project, a fun fold, and a regular card. So come on by on Saturday and see what I've got to share with you. All right, let's get started. Tonight I have 2 cards for you. I have a birthday card as well as a Christmas card. So, which would you like to do first, birthday or Christmas? Let's do a birthday. Nobody's responding, so let's do a birthday. And I will get my supplies out and we will get started. Oh, Pam says Christmas. Too late, Pam. I've already got the birthday one out. Sorry about that, girl. I forgot about the delay. Okay. So, for the birthday card, I am going to show you the products that we're going to be using. And the first one is the balloon punch, which is found on page 165 of the catalog. So we're going to be using that balloon punch. And then the next one is Happiest of Birthdays. And this is found on page 103. And I have that stamp set here. And the last one is on page 45. And it's the So Much Happy stamp set. Okay, so that's the products we're using for this one. So we are going to bring in our paper trimmer and, oops, upside down. This piece of cardstock is 4 1/4 by 11. So we are going to score this at 5 1/2. I don't know whether I have this in camera here so you can see it. I'm hoping I do. There we go. So we're going to score it at 5 1/2. All right. And then we're going to cut off 2 3/4 inches. So there's 2 3/4. Okay. So this is what we will have. Let me get this back out of the way. All right, let me grab a bone folder. So this is what we have, okay? I've cut this 2 3/4 inch piece off the front. All right, so then these cards tonight came out of my scrap bin. Any scrap card stock that I had, I used it. For the inside, I have a piece of Whisper White. So we are going to attach that right off the hop to the inside of our card. All right, so we have that. So now I have a piece of Pacific Point that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. I have a piece of Gorgeous Grape that is 3 by 4 and this is, I've got myself confused. Holy moly. This one is 4 3/4. 3 by 4, 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. 3 by 4 1/2. This is the piece we cut off that is 3 by 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of white that is 2 1/2 by 4. Okay. And if you want these dimensions afterwards, just message me. Because I know that I went through them pretty quickly. I need to grab my Stamparatus here because we are going to do some stamping on this Whisper White piece for the front of our card. And we are going to use Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays. This is a great big stamp. Okay, here we have a great big stamp that's going to fill that. I'll show you the sample card that I made, and then I'm going to ask your opinion here. This is the sample card that I made, okay? That's what it was going to look like, but I'm thinking we're going to switch it up. Once we layer all these pieces together, there's no reason we can't flip it and run it this way. Okay, so it'll open this way. What do you think about that? Do you want to try that? Because if you prefer it the other way, we can always go with It's Your Day. What do you think? Vertical or horizontal, ladies? Enter it into the comments and we'll go with the majority. You like what idea, Carol? Vertical or horizontal? Want to go vertical? I think we're going to go vertical, just to be different. All right, so we're going to stamp on here, and I think I am going to use Gorgeous Grape. If I can find it. There it is. It's hiding down here. Check that out. That's beautiful. And I'll just get my chamois here, clean that stamp up, and we are golden. All right. Now I didn't center that on purpose because I thought we could put some balloons up at the top or some stars or something. Something happy. So now I'm just grabbing my Tombow and we are going to layer this up. Just shut my ink pad before it dries out. That wouldn't be so good. And what have I done? This one is the exact same size, I do believe. Well, we're going to change her up, ladies, because I cut this wrong. So we're just going to go with it. And I am going to grab my mini paper trimmer. And I am going to trim off this little edge. So we'll just have the gorgeous grape showing on the sides. And we'll do the same with this one. I'll just layer it flush on one end. And we'll go with it. Alrighty. We are good. Okay, we're flush on one end, and we'll cut off the top piece. Alright, I got a little bit of an edge here because I got off track just a bit. But my snips will take care of that. Okay, so we are going vertical. See, it's going to work. Oh, I got a little fuzzy. There we go. Good. All right, so now when we put this on here, we're going to center this as best we can. So we're only going to put adhesive from here up. Okay, so I'll just put my finger here and we'll put adhesive from here up. And by the way, this card is by request. I had one of my girls ask for some birthday card inspiration. Alrighty. Now, what I did on the other card, I'll bring that in here. Do you see these little dots? They're just cardstock. I took a scrap of the black. This card will take a scrap of the Pacific Point, and I took my hole punch. And I have different size hole punches, so I can make different size dots. And I just punched a bunch of these. And there we have, oops, there's still two black ones in there from last night. There we have some embellishments. Okay, but we have to figure out our balloons. So I am going to go with small balloons because we don't have a lot of space. So I will punch out two of the small, in 2.5 apparently. Two of the small in the gorgeous grape, and perhaps one in the Pacific Point. All right, that should do us. Maybe we'll take one in yellow just to see what that looks like. I think there's too much yellow already, but it's better to have a little fuzzy on this one. We'll just trim it off. So let's see what we can do here. I'm just thinking we could put a bunch of balloons, kind of sort of like that. And I can just draw strings on there, and then we'll put some confetti on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these balloons and I'm going to lay them out, and then I'm going to glue this one on top. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow on each side, and then overlap them like so. There we go. So now we have one big piece to put on, and I think on the edges we're going to need some mini dimensionals because of the difference in height. So on each outer edge I will put a mini, and then when I put them on here they're going to lay flat. So we'll peel off those backers, and I'll put some Tombow on the middle one, and want to be mindful of the edge there. And now I need a Stampin' Right marker in black, if I can find it. I am not seeing it. I have basic gray, which is going to be the next best thing. All right, so I'm just going to take the fine tip marker and make some strings, just like so. And now I will grab my take your pick tools, and I'm just going to bring this in, and we're going to put some confetti on here. And I'm just going to put a few dots here and there. And then just pick up oops. All right. I think I'm going to put the rest of them up around the top edge here just to continue it off. Because we have them, we might as well use them. There we go. Just like so. And then just for fun, we can bring in our wink of Stella and glitter those up. And why not glitter up these purple balloons while we're at it? I think we need a little squeeze here. There we go. Did you ever squeeze that and squeeze too much? Have a hot mess? I did that one time. Learned my lesson. There we go. All that glittery goodness. Okay, let's put some of this stuff away and have a peek at what we've got so far. All right. There is our vertical, and here is our horizontal birthday cards. So I hope you like those, and I hope those will work for you. If, like I said, if you want the measurements, just message me afterwards, because I know it's hard when I'm doing a video to get them written down. All right, that's card 1. I just need to clean up a bit so I have room to bring in our second card. All righty. We are good. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. So now we're going to make our Christmas card. And let me grab my books again. For this card, we are going to be using from the annual catalog the Perfectly Plaid stamp set and the Coordinating Pine Tree Punch. And that's found on page 60 of the annual catalog. And we're also going to be using from the holiday catalog, page 9, we are going to be using these gorgeous wrapped in texture folders and the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper, along with the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set found on page 11. Oops, that's the dies. There's the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. Hopefully there's not too much glare. And we're also using the stitched shape dies. I used the largest circle. Okay, let's get started. I'll get this out of the way, and I will bring in my first card and show you. Here is our card, and can you see all that gorgeous texture? This one here, I used this folder, the more detailed folder. There's also one that's not quite as detailed, but that's the one I used, and this is the layout that we're going to go with tonight. Now, of course, we're changing things up, and we're just going to play it by ear and wing it like we usually do. I have chosen Mossy Meadow cardstock, and it's standard card, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I have chosen the wrapped in texture, wrapped in Christmas DSP. So this is 2 inches by 5.5. This is 2 inches by 4 1/4. So instead of this texture on this card, we're going to use 2 pieces of the Designer Series paper. Okay, so we're just going to switch that up a little bit. And obviously I haven't got this cut. I'm just going to trim off the excess. So we will get started, and first things first, we are going to lay down this piece. And I need to grab my glue, and we will get this on. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And if you're wondering, yes, this was a sketch that I found online. You probably guessed that. I was a little uninspired, to be honest. So I went online and found a sketch. And that was my jumping off point. And the sketch was the two rectangular pieces and the circle. All right, so now this piece is going to overlay this piece. And because this is plaid, you have to be mindful of the lines to make sure that you're getting everything on there super straight. So our Christmas cards are slowly coming to a close, ladies. It's basically time for people to start sending their cards. So I'm going to start focusing back on stamp sets from the annual catalog and from the new mini. Sometimes we get caught up in these little mini catalogs, and we kind of tend to forget a little bit about the annual catalog for a bit. All right, I need to change my blade right off the hop because this one is toast. So I will just basically throw that one in the garbage and pop a new one in. Now, we need a liner for our card. I don't have that. So I'm just going to go and cut this at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we will get that put on the inside of our card. So we have a pretty place to write our greeting. Just like that. All right. So now we have our stitch circle, which I die cut off camera, of course, just for the time aspect. And what we're going to do is we are going to take this tree punch, and we just make sure that you have your circle the right side up, because there is a right side and a wrong side to this. So basically, I'm just going to put it all the way in and then lift it up just a titch, and I'm holding it level on both sides. And then we're going to punch. So there is our tree, which is going to be a plaid tree. So I'm going to put some adhesive around the outside here. And we're going to put this down on our card like so. Oops. Just make sure you get it straight. We don't need no crooked trees. And I happen to have this one up higher because this piece is bigger. I think I used the wrong piece. I think I was supposed to use this. But that's okay, because that gives us more room for our greeting, which I've also changed up. On this card, I used the 1 3/4. Right now, I used what? The 1 1/2 and the 1 3/4 punch. On this card, I am going to use this punch, which is the tailored tag. And do you remember in our last video, we used the new set? What's it called? People, I'm losing my mind here. What did I do? Many Messages. The Many Messages stamp set and die, that this big one. Remember this one? We had that, and I had created a template. It's in here. All right. Do you remember this? Okay. So what I did is I took my template and I wanted Peace on Earth. So that one wouldn't fit very well. That one did, but I wasn't real fond of it. But I really liked this one. So I pulled the blank out of my little basket of tricks and I stamped it in the mossy meadow. And now what I'm going to do, this was a leftover bit actually that was in my little box of tricks there, leftovers. I'm going to layer that on here. So you can use your die cuts and your punches together to create different elements to go on your cards. So there we have that, and that can go right down on the front. Like so. And I noticed that right here, I don't like that because I didn't, with this paper being so big, I think this should have been down a little lower. Anyway, we're going with it for tonight. And now I have a little star. This is a retired star punch that I've had from a couple years back. And there are dies that have little tiny stars in it, but the punch was just handy and was easy. So there we have that one. These little areas here really bother me, but it is what it is. We've got it all glued down now. I can't rip it apart with Tombow, that's for sure. So there are our two cards, and I'll probably stamp on the inside as well. There's our two Christmas cards. And here are our two birthday cards. So basically this one here, you're just taking a standard card base, chopping a piece off and turning it around in the opposite direction. Okay, that's what I have for you tonight, ladies. Thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your support. And please click the share button. Share this video with your friends. The more we have at these events, the merrier. So thanks very much for joining me tonight. And I will see you on Saturday for What Inspired Me This Week. That's Saturday right here at 10:30. Bye-bye. Have a good rest of your week.